In this lecture, I'm going to be explaining Healthchecks. When you put your app in production, you will definitely want to configure Healthchecks. If your application malfunctions, the pod and container can still be running, but the application might not work anymore. The app gives an error because of something internally that went wrong. To detect and resolve problems with your application, you can run Healthchecks. You can run two different types of Healthchecks. The first one is running a command in the container periodically. You're just going to execute a command within the container to check whether your container is still working. The other one, and the one that is used most of the time, is periodic checks on a URL using HTTP. Your app probably is going to expose an interface. Using periodic checks on that interface, you can check whether your app is still healthy. The typical production application behind the load balancer should always have Healthchecks implemented in some way to ensure availability and resiliency of the application. Even if you're using AWS and the load balancer, the Healthchecks are not checking whether your pod is healthy. It is only checking whether the node port is accessible. So even when you're using the AWS load balancer, you're going to want these types of Healthchecks as well. This is how a Healthcheck looks like on our example container. Here again, I have the pod, the example pod, and here is then in bold the Healthcheck. It's a liveness probe using an HTTP GET on just slash, which means just the main website. On a production application, you're probably going to have something like /health, but here I don't have a separate health page, so I'm just using slash. The port is going to be port 3000, which is the container port, or if you give your container port a name, then you can just use that name. There's an initial delay in seconds, so the liveness probe is going to wait 15 seconds, and there's a timeout of 30 seconds. How this exactly works, I will show you in the next demo.